is Wanted Down Under, the series that sends British families 10,000 miles across the world to sample life in Australia. Today, how keen are the Keens? Horse-mad Rachel's looking for the good life in the Australian sun.
I believe that we have a better quality of life. That's what I do believe, for me and the boys.
Husband Steve's a bricklayer. He wants a solid foundation for their kids.
I think we think that maybe Lewis and Tom will have a better future than what they could over here.
But how will they cope with being so far from friends and family? And will Steve be able to find the right job to fund their dream?
Main things I'm concerned about is the money side of what it is and what you can earn out there.
And Rachel's desperate not to leave her teenage daughter Roxy behind.
I'd love her to come out to Australia. I'd be really made up if she came out. That'd be the final, you know.
But Roxy really rates the UK.
The weather suits me a lot, like the rain, really. And I have loads of friends here, which I don't want to leave.
Without Roxy, will it prove to be an unbearable wrench for her mum?
I just want to make sure Steve's with me 100%, and I'm 100% about doing this. Otherwise, we won't survive it, will we?
Over 100 Brits a day emigrate to Australia, and half of them qualify because of their skill. You can now be fast-tracked to a new life down under if you have a skill that's in demand. But it's a huge decision to make, and most families haven't set foot in Australia before choosing to make the move. We've put 20 British families to the ultimate test. We've given them 1 week to try out Australian life. They'll get to find out everything they can about homes, work and lifestyle. But will they vote to stay in the UK or move to Australia? The Keane family from Somerset are about to embark on their trial trip to the other side of the world. They've never been to Australia, yet they're contemplating spending the rest of their lives there. Mum Rachel will find making the decision to move or not the hardest. She faces leaving her 18-year-old daughter and friends and family in Somerset.
I live in Somerset, and I've lived there all my life. And I brought up on a farm. Mum and Dad were dairy farmers.
She hopes to milk the outdoor life in Oz for her children.
Me and the family are definitely more outside than inside people, and we can do a lot more outside, like go swimming and go down to the beach, have barbecues. It just sounds absolutely amazing, that sort of lifestyle.
Steve's a football-mad bricklayer who's fed up with his work always running into extra time.
All I seem to do over here is work and then play football and then come home, as Rachel says it. So, I don't know, maybe have a bit more time to ourselves over there.
Could a move down under help him score new friends?
I think I will try and find a team, because again, it's another way of trying to get you into the social side in Australia, I suppose. So also with the kids as well, I'll quite happily try and get involved in a children's team.
But if 2-year-old Tom and 9-year-old Lewis were to leave the UK, they'd miss the family pets that would have to be left behind.
I've got 2 rabbits, this one here, and Chili in there. 2 dogs. Harvey's a Shih Tzu. Frida's a Rottie, you know, Rottweiler. And I've got a rat without no fur. He's called Rufus.
But a move would take the boys thousands of miles from much-loved relatives.
And I'll leave my nan, my other nan, my grampy, my cousins. So I miss them.
Of all the children, Roxy, Rachel's daughter from a previous relationship, has the biggest dilemma.
My dad wants to go and live in Canada where my dad's side of the family are living. He wants me to come with him. My mum wants me to come with her. I'm having to make those decisions at the moment, as well as choosing what university I'm going to. So it's quite complicated.
Rachel would be heartbroken if she couldn't convince Roxy to join them in Oz.
I'd love her to come out to Australia. I'd be really made up. But the problem is I can't force her to do something she don't want to do, because I know it'll just be thrown in my face and she'll just resent it.
I think my mum's finding it harder to leave me than I am, because I think she just feels that I'm not in that place yet where she can leave me, because I'm not settled. I'm deciding where to go.
To help Rachel and Steve assess the huge risks they'd be taking, we've lined up 3 lifestyle options for them to choose from in Western Australia. Life in the country, on the coast, or in the city of Perth. Once they've picked one, the Keens will fly down under to put that lifestyle to the test. After just 1 week, they'll have to make the biggest decision they'll ever make: move to Australia or stay in the UK. As Rachel and Steve wrestle with the enormity of the decision, I've invited them to Australia House in London to show them a taste of the jobs and homes they could be enjoying. Keen family, welcome to Australia House. You don't know much about what's happening, do you? You know that it's Western Australia.
Yeah.
We've got 3 lifestyle options for you to choose from, and the first one is going to be rural. So do you want to have a look?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put that there. Let everyone see. And if you just press that.
Okay.
In the countryside of Western Australia, you can take advantage of one of the best climates in the world. Half an hour from Perth is Carramar, where expat builder Mike Wright is offering you a job.
I'm a hands-on builder. I employ sub-trades to do my work. There's such a shortage of bricklayers in Perth. Our bricklayer's working by himself to do this job, but we need more bricklayers so we can get things done faster. I'm always looking out for good tradespeople, and I'd like to meet you, Steve, to join my team.
Carramar is inland, but only 10 minutes from the beach. Your money goes a lot further here than on the coast. For £200,000, you could have a house like Mike and Jackie. They have a homestead-style bungalow with pool set in 2.5 acres of lush, peaceful Australian bush.
Steve and Rachel, you've got to come over here. The lifestyle's so much better. You'll have no problem with work. Your kids will enjoy it. Go for it.
You could earn around £900 a week working for Mike. With a shortage of bricklayers and bungalow-style family houses costing around £200,000, the rural option sounds ideal. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Looked good.
Yeah,
He looked
it
alright
looks
as well,
like-
actually.
yeah, it looks very
Didn't seem
relaxing.
too bad, did he?
No.
No. I like the look of that one.
And what did you like about it?
I just like the beaches.
Have you ever lived by a beach?
No.
Western-super-Mare.
A lovely beach.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And what about you, Lewis? What did you think of that film?
It's okay, yeah.
So what did you think of the bricks?
It's a little smudgy, yeah.
They looked a bit smudgy.
Yeah, it was cement.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
The brickwork wasn't very good quality.
No.
Tell them that. You want him to...
I knew
So
what
do
he
you
meant.
think they need your dad
Yeah.
to sort things
Yeah,
out?
that's what he thinks, yeah.
So what did you think of the lifestyle? You liked the guy that was offering the job. What about the
Yeah.
lifestyle?
We want to live outside Perth, don't we? Because
Yeah,
that's
we
where we
do.
live now,
Yeah.
isn't it? We live outside Bristol, yeah.
And it's out in the country too, so that's
and
what's
10 minutes
good.
from the beach, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
And
very
good
chilled.
20-minute, half-hour walk. Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
mind that, do we? That's
Yeah.
quite good.
Okay,
Yeah,
so the first option, quite favourable.
Yeah.
Are you ready to look at the second
Yeah.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sounds
the
good.
second one is the beach option. Option 2 is Yanchep on the coast, a 45-minute drive north of Perth. It's coupled with neighbouring town Two Rocks and is often referred to as Yanchep Two Rocks. The towns have some of the most pristine beaches within reach of Perth, providing an appealing lifestyle on the coast. Another expat builder, Dave Walker, would be happy to take you on.
I made the move 17 years ago. Best move I've ever made. Lifestyle, sun, beaches, fishing, anything you want, you've got it here. Perth at the moment experiences a massive boom in the building industry because of the way the weather is. We start at 6:30 in the morning, finish at 3:30. Gives you ample time to go home, go down to the beach, have fun with your kids, make your barbecue and enjoy the lifestyle we have here.
You can live right in the heart of National Park territory in Quinns Rocks. Dave and his partner have a house here worth £250,000. The natural and unspoilt beaches make this a popular place for fishing, surfing, scuba diving and swimming.
Steve and Rachel, it'll be the best move you'll ever make. I promise you, you won't regret it. As soon as you get here, come and see me.
If you want to live by the sea here, a 4-bedroom house costs around £250,000. You'd earn £900 a week with plenty of work on the expanding developments by the coast. Lewis, did we see any brickwork there? What do we think of the quality?
Lumpy.
Lumpy? Australia needs your dad. Should we ask them what they think or no? Yeah, go on then. Rachel, what did you think?
I thought the other one had a bit more of the countryside, which is more, that's what I like. I like to be out in the country.
Really?
Yeah, so,
Okay.
but it does look gorgeous. And there again, the beaches all look exactly the same. They all look lovely, don't they?
And he seemed like a really nice guy.
And he
the
did,
fact
very
that
nice. And it's with his family, isn't he?
Yeah, and 17 years he's been out there.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I liked to live near the beach, but I'd be a bit concerned living on the beach with these two, wouldn't I, if they ran out the back and that. I think, and I wasn't too sure, I don't know, not too sure about him. I think I prefer to work with the other chap.
Oh, do you like the other one?
First impressions at the moment, anyway, yeah. Out of the two at the moment, I've been more edging towards that one at the moment.
Okay. Well, should we have a look at option 3?
Yeah.
Our city option is Western Australia's prosperous capital, Perth, where Mark Ilchuk is looking for more bricklayers.
We do commercial and residential buildings, and we have a lot of work, so we really need you out here.
Perth's one of the most sought-after cities in the world to live in. It's Australia's sunniest state capital, which has attracted thousands of British immigrants over the years. It's a thriving city and offers a cosmopolitan lifestyle, yet the beaches are never far away.
At the moment, we've got 8 bricklayers. We have about 40 units that we're trying to get done, and we just can't keep up. So we are looking to get about another 4 to 5 brickies at least.
Depending on which area of the city you choose, property gets expensive, but you can pick up a 4-bedroom home without a pool in one of the better suburbs for around £250,000. And you'll earn closer to £1,000 a week working on city building sites.
In those rare moments that I'm not working, I take full advantage of the outdoor life. Perth has amazing beaches, the fishing is great, and also the surf's pretty good. The kids will love it. The outdoor life can't be beat, so get your family out here.
And I thought the whole 3 of them looked very nice, actually.
The beach, you seemed a little unsure of, both of you, really,
Yeah,
didn't you?
the last chap seemed all right, actually, and it's industrial work as well, which I do a lot of now.
Yeah.
All right.
The first one just seemed quite... He did seem...
You just keep going back to that first one,
The first
don't
one
you?
seemed... There's just the chap, because I've got to work with him at the end of the day, haven't I? So,
Yeah.
But we'll have to talk about it, won't we?
Yeah,
See.
we will.
Okay, well, hey, guess what? You can't talk about it for that long, because you're getting on the plane tomorrow. It's crunch time, so which will it be? Life in the country, where your dollars will buy a bigger home for less money? The coast, with stunning beaches and plenty of well-paid work, though you'll pay more for a house that's close to the beach? Or the city, with its more cosmopolitan lifestyle? Here you'll earn top dollars as builders are in demand. What do you think it's going to be?
Well, you seem to be more keen on number 1, don't you?
Yeah.
To be honest, for me, I think the whole 3 looks great, so
Yeah,
I think
it
it's
don't
your
matter for me,
choice,
really.
personally.
I think number 1,
Yeah.
we'll go for... They just seem more comfortable with the chap. All the jobs are basically the same, aren't they? It's just, I feel more comfortable. Brick's a brick at the end of the day, it's who you've got to work with. So, yeah, I think number 1.
You sure?
Yeah? Number
Okay,
1,
then.
Lou?
Yeah, number 1.
Yeah?
Number 1?
Yeah.
Is that a definite?
Yeah.
Hooray, a decision then. It's the rural lifestyle, yes, Lewis?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was you that should have the final word. Well, I'm going to give you the ticket. There you go. Listen, guys, have the best time in Australia. Best of luck, guys.
Yeah, thanks so much.
So, the Keane family have chosen the countryside near Perth as the place to taste the Aussie lifestyle. As they make their first trip ever to Australia, Steve and Rachel consider what they'd be turning their backs on if they moved permanently. Rachel would desperately miss her daughter Roxy if she emigrated, so there's a lot more riding on this trip for her. Recovering from more than 20 hours flying, Rachel and Steve start to face the reality of a tough week ahead.
The work seems to be the main issue, isn't it? Maybe a worry about that. Get that sorted, I think, and that'll be everything else should fall into place, shouldn't it, really? Because if you're earning, it should be okay. Everything should fall into place, shouldn't
And
it?
get much information about houses and cars and living
Yeah,
and schools.
yeah.
For
School,
Lewis.
obviously.
Rachel may cope better with leaving one child behind if the others are happy.
I think
think I'm looking forward more to surfing and seeing dolphins and sharks and all that. I think I'm looking forward to that the most.
The Keens have rented a bungalow for the week in a place called Mindari, and as they soon discover, you can expect a lot for your money here.
There it is, this one.
Oh, wow.
What do you reckon, Rach?
Oh, it's lovely, Steve. Isn't it? It's beautiful.
Big. The size of the kitchen.
Inside, there's a lot of space.
Look at this, Steve.
It's a big room, look.
Oh,
It's got them off to an encouraging start. This house is valued at around £220,000.
Come on, Tom. It's a nice room, isn't it? They're big rooms, isn't they, Rach?
That would be the very top end of their budget, but it gives them a good impression of the possibilities.
Two dining rooms. This must be for formal occasions, then.
There are 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and the master bedroom has an ensuite and walk-in wardrobe.
It's massive, isn't it? I can't get over how big it is, Rach. 10 times the size of our house, isn't it? The pool, Lewis. Look, Tom.
In the garden, there's a good-sized pool with a barbecue and patio area.
Oh, it's freezing.
Barbie, you going to do some cooking on there, Rach?
No, you did cooking, Steve.
Oh, I forgot that.
It's actually amazing. I'm just surprised. Well, it's just
How big it is, isn't it?
and the height of the ceilings and everything.
That surprised us, isn't it? They don't look very big from the outside.
I know,
when you
it's
drive
very
up.
deceiving when you drive up.
The pool's as big as our little yard out the
Views,
back,
it's
isn't it?
lovely.
Oh,
That's
isn't
what I
it?
love about Australia, though. All spread
Looks
it
like
out.
Ramsey Street, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it does. It's like neighbours.
So far, so good, but when the family go off to explore, their worries surface again, this time about the heat.
Yeah. Hot. Hot, Lewis. That's what we want. Hot. Don't know about working in it, mate.
It's spring here, and already the temperature reaches 30 degrees in the day. In the height of summer, it gets to 40 degrees plus.
Change your mind, I want to go over in the rain. Back to sleety England.
Tomorrow, our family go house hunting to see if they could really afford the house of their dreams in Australia. If they decide to emigrate, the Keens will have to sell their 3-bedroom house in Somerset, worth about £165,000. They're hoping to have a budget of £250,000 if they move to Oz. They're counting on getting a mortgage here in order to buy their dream house. Rachel's keen to find a 4-bedroom home near the beach. She's desperate for a big garden and, if they can afford it, a swimming pool. The first stop on their property tour is an older character property in a suburb of Perth called Victoria Park East. After their rented house, it feels small, but house prices down under are just as dependent on your choice of location as they are in the UK.
Small though, isn't it, up to the other house?
It's very homely, isn't it?
This worker's cottage is on the market for £170,000, so roughly the same value as their home in the UK.
It's cottage though, isn't it? 'Cause
It's like you in a house at home.
But it has only 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom.
More like a little apartment, isn't it?
I just think it's very British.
This is quite nice.
Yeah, this is nice.
And when they realise this is the full extent of the garden, it definitely begins to pale.
Is this the garden? Is this it, is it? Or is this just the yard? I think this is it. I don't think even that's your drive up there, Rach.
The estate agent explains this is a good price for this kind of house in this area.
Why is it so high? It seems quite a high price for what
area.
you're getting for the area.
It's low for the area for this type of house.
Yeah.
It's priced according to the street that it's on, so it's on a busier road. If you wanted this house on another street, like a better street, you pay 500 plus.
Cool. So the further out you go, the more value you get for your money, basically. Then.
Essentially,
It's got lots of character though.
it has. And the right buyer will just walk in and go,
Yeah.
oh, isn't it beautiful?
I don't think it's for us.
I'll say, come to England.
Yeah. And I go, too bloody cold.
House number 2 is in Butler. It's a bit bigger than the first property and more expensive at £190,000.
Yeah, you can walk to school from here.
I prefer it,
Maybe to
definitely.
a home.
Quite small, isn't it? It's like our living room at home, isn't it?
Let's hope this will impress them.
Oh, look the size of this. You expect this, did you?
That's a bit more like it.
More rooms,
Yeah.
Tom. More
More.
rooms.
Yeah.
Oh, more. Oh, that's nice. Like
Oh,
that.
that's a good idea.
Yeah. How
Nice,
many
isn't it?
bedrooms is that then, Steve?
4.
4.
Yeah, this is a surprise, isn't it?
Yeah,
My
it
God.
is. Very deceiving from the front, isn't
Yeah.
it?
It's safe out here, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely wonderful. I can definitely see us. This is just lovely.
This house is totally different from before, isn't it? It's just what you expect from an Australian house, I think. It's just the pool, really, is the only downside for me, isn't it? Coming to Australia, you expect a house like this, then a pool, don't you?
Steve and Rachel have high expectations, but can they afford their dream home? Steve's already worrying about the hidden costs.
What's the stamp duty be on this property then? 'Cause we've just found out about that. Apparently you've got to pay a stamp duty, haven't you, on top?
You do, yeah, it's a government tax. You're looking at $19,200 on a $470,000 property.
So that's 470 we'll have to pay plus 19,000 on top.
Exactly.
Those extras are a bit of a shock for Steve. So what about house number 3?
Yeah, that's a bit nice.
Nice brick house for a change.
Oh good, they like the bricks.
Shouldn't it?
I lead the way for you, and you
Okay.
just follow.
The third place we found for the Keens is in Secret Harbour. It's at the top end of their budget at £245,000.
This would be your master bedroom, ensuite, with a spa.
So the spa?
Yes, with a spa.
It's like a show home.
Your family area.
Oh, it's quite nice, isn't it?
As you walk through, it sort of flows.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
Nothing is actually stopping you
No.
it
going,
actually
yeah.
flow through, which is really, really nice.
Nothing you can moan about, is there, at the moment? That's nice, isn't it?
And a nice big open kitchen. Yeah.
It's the kind of residence they couldn't dream of owning in the UK. The house is only 2 years old, so it's very up to the minute. It has 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and an open-plan living area, games room and a pool.
That's nice,
This
isn't
is
it?
your entertaining, where you're going to do most of your entertaining. And, of course, as you know, we have 6 months of the year, and we have absolutely fantastic weather here down the road.
Yeah.
And most Australian families outside.
Yeah.
And a nice bit of grass as well. Play football on here, Tom?
This house seems to have everything on the Keens' wish list. But Rachel seems to be hankering after the area they're renting in, Mindarie, not here, Secret Harbour.
There ain't nothing you can moan about, is there, really? It's only the air. If you put this up and put this in Mindarie, you'd be well happy, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would be.
But
yeah.
again, we've got to look at the area, haven't we, and see what happens, haven't we?
I don't know if the house is too expensive for us. That's something I
Yeah.
was thinking.
Well, again, that's something we've got to look at. I'm moving this tomorrow if I could, because it's a lovely house, isn't it?
It is, yeah, definitely.
So, after a long day house hunting, Rachel and Steve haven't really found what they're looking for. Rachel's ambitious for something they probably can't afford. Nevertheless, it's time to vote on where they think is the best place to set up home.
As far as the vote for homes go, we choose...
Australia!
But if they're really going to move, they've got to earn enough to pay for the mortgage and lifestyle to match. It looks like our family weren't as impressed with Australian property as they thought they might be. But still, there's a long way to go before they have to decide whether to stay in the UK or move down under.
Hiya, Mike.
Steve,
All right?
how are you going?
Yeah, not too bad. Weather
Yeah.
ain't brilliant, but, you know.
Oh, you're getting spoilt. You wait till Christmas and be frying your head soon.
Day 2 and time for Steve to find out how different it is to labour on an Aussie construction site. He's working for expat builder Mike Wright, who is a £10 POM. Like a million other Brits, £10 is all he paid to come out here in the post-war scheme to encourage migrants.
What temperatures are we, like, talking?
A bit like the UK, you're only going to get, say, 3 weeks a year, which is really uncomfortable. Say 20-odd days when it's going to be over 100 degrees. And you know when you're in for a bad day, as soon as you open your door in the morning, the heat hits you in the face.
Yeah.
You have to wet the blocks down. The blocks
Oh,
become so hot, it really gets unbearable.
We've done it once or twice back in England. That's when it's been really, really hot, but not. It's normally not hot enough to do it. What is the hours you work in the summer?
Most bricklayers like to start around about 5:30 and knock off around about 2 o'clock if they can, to get the bricks down. It's good.
2 o'clock? That means Steve could get the valuable extra time off he wants. Meanwhile, Rachel's down at the duck pond, checking out the local amenities for young families.
So beautiful. It's a beautiful area. It's like walking distance to the local pond where the ducks are. And I just know the kids would love coming down here quite often and feed the ducks. And not very far away, there's a harbour and a beach which we can walk down to. And even in the afternoon when, you know, the weekends with me and Steve, which I know the kids will love and enjoy too.
Meanwhile, Steve's sweating back with the bricks and learning a few tricks of the Aussie trade with Swiss-born bricklayer Rudy.
That's a small one, takes a few hits probably. The bricks are not very good either.
No.
They shatter easily. That was good.
I think I've done it before, haven't you?
Yeah, it looks like.
Just seems like I'm back on the English side, actually, really, apart from the heat and the materials are slightly different.
What about the nitty-gritty?
So what do you reckon I'll be earning a week if I come over here to...
You'd be looking at $2,000.
Yeah.
Once you got into the swing of things.
So that's about £900, isn't it?
Is that what it is? I've lost track of it.
Yeah, half it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the recent changes to Aussie visa rules mean that for the first time, bricklayers like Steve can actually get a job here.
So much building going on at the moment, it's just incredible. I'd be more than pleased to employ him. If you've got the work, you can join us, no problem at all. The way Steve handles the crowd, his experience, he'll have no problem getting work. Get a paper, there'll be employment the following day, I can guarantee it.
At the end of the day, Steve reports back to Rachel. He's taking Mike's advice, checking out the jobs pages in the local paper before he makes his decision about work.
Column after column after column. In the Evening Post, you'd only have like one or two, wouldn't you, adverts?
No, just the one.
If that, yeah.
Yeah.
5 days a week, and then that should be enough. Don't want to be working weekends and that, do I? Because there's no point coming over here otherwise, is there?
That's right, so we spend a bit of time together.
Yeah, that's the idea, isn't it?
So how's he going to vote? The pay is just about okay if he puts in the hours. But for a brickie, the summer temperatures could be unbearable to work in. The heat is on. What's Steve's verdict?
For work and job opportunities, I give the vote to Australia.
So work in Oz looks okay. If the Keens do move down under, their boys would be joining the crowds on the beaches. Before deciding to emigrate, Rachel and Steve will need convincing that swimming here is safe. And that's apart from all the other hazards this country has a reputation for.
One of the biggest fears for many UK visitors to Australia is the continent's ferocious wildlife. And they don't come more deadly than sharks. So what kind of person volunteers to train as a lifesaver in Oz?
Properly trained lifesavers give families confidence that everyone's being watched. Western Australia has more beaches than any other state in the country, so more risks like sharks and strong currents. Surf lifesavers are a crucial part of the beach scene in Perth. Damien Marangong, beach captain of Scarborough Surf Lifesaving Club, has put dozens of volunteers through exhaustive training.
To be able to don the red and yellow cap and be a bona fide lifesaver, they undergo months of training, which involves everything from making sure that they are quite competent swimmers to ensure that they know how to rescue someone, perform first aid and resuscitation, as well as being able to identify other dangers that may be at the beach or coastal locations.
Scarborough is one of the busiest beaches in Western Australia, and there are normally over 10 lifesavers patrolling the beach and the sea. Sounds like there's no time for sunbathing.
Surf Lifesaving Western Australia on an annual basis performs up to about 600 rescues, over 1,000 first aid cases, and importantly about 3,000 preventative actions.
Although sharks are a constant risk, the #1 cause of rescues is a rip. And I don't mean in your swimming trunks. A rip is what the lifesavers call the strong current that can unexpectedly suck you out to sea.
The #1 mistake people make is they panic because they're not sure how far out to sea they're going to be taken. So if you don't panic, you put your arm in the air and hopefully you're swimming between the red and yellow flags so that a lifesaver can come and help you.
So when you're down at the beach, just remember these top tips. Never swim alone. Always go to a patrolled beach. Only swim between the red and yellow flags. And if you hear an alarm and see a red and white flag, get out of the water quick. There's a shark about. Steve and Rachel Keane have got 1 week to decide if they'll risk everything they have for the chance of a fresh start in Western Australia. What was always a tough decision has only got tougher now they've realised it's not quite the dream ticket they'd imagined. They've learned that they can't really afford a house in the area they'd like.
It's only the area. If you put this up and put this in Mindarie, you'd be well happy, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would be. I don't know if the house is too expensive for us. So
Yeah, well again, that's something we've got to look at.
Steve's discovered working outside in the Aussie heat is no picnic.
Summertime, you really do earn the money because you're going to get fried when it's going to be over 100 degrees, and you know when you're in for a bad day. As soon as you open your door in the morning, the heat hits you in the face.
All week, Rachel's found it difficult not to worry about Roxy, her teenage daughter.
I'm not going to be living with my mum and Steve forever, am I? So I think I should make a decision about what affects me and what's best for my life.
Will Rachel really be able to move this far away?
I've got Roxy to leave behind. That's going to be quite a big thing for me. That's what I'm going to miss most.
Yeah.
Knowing my parents and friends.
And how will she and Steve handle their boys' reactions to messages from their grandparents?
We do love you and think of you.
Day 4, and it's time for the Keens to weigh up the Aussie lifestyle around Perth. Everyone seems attracted to the water, but what about those sharks?
Look, Mum, over there. Shark.
Seeing them face to face at the aquarium not only helps confront their fears, but proves to Rachel that her family might be able to have more quality time together in Australia.
It's great to see Steve getting involved in Tom and Lewis. Steve don't get much time to actually do outings like this. Yeah, it's been a complete amazing experience for all of us all round, not just the children.
If Steve gets to spend more time with his family, finding more places to enjoy together could make all the difference between choosing Oz over the UK. And there'd be plenty more for the family to do around Mindarie. It's all a far cry from their rural life in Somerset. If they're to be convinced by Australia, there are other members of the family that would have to be replaced. Rachel would want her own horse, and the boys would miss the family pets. In Australia, Lewis and Tom could be even closer to animals than they are back home.
That's the first time I've seen a kangaroo.
It's good, wasn't it, Tom?
Looks like the boys would love these animals, but what about Rachel's dream of owning a horse here? It's crucial for her to get the facts if she's to be persuaded to make the massive move. She's found the time to meet up with local stable owner Kerry Long, who came to Oz from Manchester 5 years ago. Hopefully Kerry can tell her all she needs to know about owning a horse here.
Hi, Kerry.
Hello, Rachel. Nice to meet you.
This is Lewis.
Hello, Lewis. Nice to meet you. This little fella is Doobie. He's a miniature.
He is gorgeous.
And he is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And this is Sunny.
Hello, Sunny.
And she's a thoroughbred cross Welsh Mountain.
All right.
They just love each other.
They do,
those
don't
two.
they? Adore one another. Oh. So how much would it cost us to get a horse?
Oh, pretty much from $0. You can pick horses up for nothing. You can get ones that are straight off the track that people are quite happy just to give away. But for a horse that's done it all, a bit of jumping, bit of eventing, perhaps a bit of dressage and pleasure ride, for $2,000 you could pick something up.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
How about stabling?
Stabling, well, it costs $15 a day here, and that's for everything.
Yeah.
That's all you feed.
Yeah.
The horses have indoor stables
Okay.
with walkout yards, which have got cover. So obviously, if it's really hot, they're still out of the direct sun. But overall, it's a lot cheaper.
But like everything outdoors in Australia, there are deadly hazards Rachel might not have thought about.
Oh, I guess if you're out bush riding, you've got to be aware of potential for snakes. We often ride out in the bush over there, and the horses will suddenly jump and stop dead like that, and you'll look and there'll be 5 or 6 big kangaroos hopping across.
But riding can be fatal, as Kerry knows.
She tripped and I broke base of skull and C1, which was the same injury apparently that Superman had. But fortunately mine was a stable fracture, and the doctor said I was about 2 millimetres off being dead. But I've got back on since.
So is Rachel onto a winner? Which lifestyle will she choose, Australia or the UK?
For lifestyle, and especially for horse riding, this vote goes to Australia.
So the Oz lifestyle came in favourite, but could the Keens afford it? Steve's would-be boss, Mike White, has invited them round to his home to show them the kind of lifestyle he's achieved after 20 years here. Steve and Rachel couldn't afford anything like this straight away. The plot alone that Mike built his house on is worth over £200,000.
Anyone with a view will be around that figure.
It's going to be a bit expensive for us, Mindara, isn't it, to start off with?
If you lived here, it would be 10 minutes in a car. You'd be at the beach. And it'd be a lot cheaper.
Yeah, I would love it if Steve could build us a home.
That's the best way to go. Steve's the bricklayer. He's got all the skills.
So it's kind of made you a bit thinking as if you might want to?
Yeah, I'm not going to say definite yet.
No.
But I'm going to say it's a wonderful country, what I've seen of it.
So it'll take 2 years to really get used to the place.
Yeah.
You may not think it, but it will be. And times you'll get low, and you'll miss your folks, and you'll think, oh, it wasn't like this back home, and you could get depressed and things like that.
With only one day left, Steve and Rachel know they must get to grips with the massive decision they've got to make. Steve's still concerned about earning enough to pay for the lifestyle they want, and Rachel has by no means made up her mind. Daughter Roxy back home is never far from her thoughts. Would she follow them if they moved here?
I'd quite like to stay here at the moment, because I don't really have a problem with here, and I think I want to go to university here. Whereas Australia, I think I'd just like to go on holiday there.
Knowing Roxy wouldn't leave the UK makes her mother's decision incredibly painful.
I mean, for me, I've got Roxy to leave behind. That's going to be quite a big thing for me. That's what I'm going to miss most.
Yeah.
Let alone my parents and friends.
Hopefully Roxy will come over, and then once she gets here,
Well,
she might see...
we'll make sure there's money there for her to come out. That's 100%. Because if there wasn't, I wouldn't consider about doing it. So I've got to have it there, because if she needs me, I must be there for her, you know? It's really important to me anyway.
To fly out, or let her fly out.
It's got to be there. If the friends aren't there, I don't want to think about emigrating.
No.
I want Lewis to be happy as well, and I want it's something what Lewis wants to do. So yeah, I want us all to be positive, and we all want to do it, and otherwise we won't survive it, will we? We'll be going backwards, not forwards.
Lewis is also questioning whether he wants to live so far from his grandparents.
I think really sad because I always see my nan and gran.
One thing Rachel is sure about, she's not going to agree to this move unless she's certain it's what everyone wants.
I just want to make sure Steve's with me 100%, and I'm 100% about doing this before we set off and do it. Because if we're not 100%, I know it'll crash.
How will they make sure it doesn't all crash for them? There's an awful lot to wrestle with before their final vote tomorrow. Their week here has really brought home to them what a huge step moving to Oz could be. To help them consider how much their choice would mean to their friends and family, we've recorded a collection of messages for them to watch. If they moved, Rachel and Steve's parents would be hit hard. First up, Steve's mum.
Hi Steve, hi Rachel, my loves. I hope you're getting on fine over in Australia.
I hope what you see in Perth is what you hope for and more.
I think it'd be a really good way of life for her. So I'm quite excited for her actually, because I think she'll be really happy there.
Leaving Roxy behind is the biggest issue for Rachel.
We found that we had opportunities which our parents stopped us from doing. So no way would I stop my children from doing what they wish to do in their life.
It's their dream, so how can you stop your child having his dream?
You know, I see him every day. He's a big part of my life, really. You know, and he's going with the children as well, which is our grandchildren. Which, you know, I feel that it'd be sad, really. We won't be seeing them growing up, will we?
The fears I got is that when Rachel has concerns, she always comes and has a word. That is the biggest concern. She's on her own out there.
When Stephen and Rachel told me, me and his dad was a little bit very, very upset.
But what about Roxy? How would she manage if they put 10,000 miles between them?
I'm really going to miss Steve. He's been really great over all these years. Tommy and Lewis, I'm going to really miss, because I just hope they don't forget me as they grow up. But I'm going to miss them all so much.
We do love you and think of you, and we're right behind you, and hope to see you soon.
Coming to terms with the thoughts of their family and friends on the other side of the world could have a huge effect on Rachel and Steve's choice for the future. Could they really bear to leave them behind? After the highs and lows of an extraordinary week, our family must make their final decision. Is moving to Australia what they all really want?
It's time to put their future to a final vote.
Steve could have much to gain from a move to Oz. He's fed up with his work lifestyle and feels ready for a change.
All I seem to do over here is work and then play football and then come home, as Rachel says it. So, I don't know, maybe have a bit more time to ourselves over there.
Steve, all right, how you going?
Yeah.
But he's got to face up to a different way of life, not least the searing summer heat of Western Australia.
In the summer, what temperatures are we like?
You know when you're in for a bad day, as soon as you open your door in the morning, the heat hits you in the face.
Yeah.
And probably having to work just as hard as he does in the UK to support his family and the lifestyle they dream of. So is Australia where he now sees himself spending the rest of his life.
Australia!
9-year-old Lewis is guided by his parents, but he's got a whole load of animal friends he'd have to leave behind.
I've got 2 rabbits, 2 dogs, and I've got a rat without no fur. He's called Rufus.
And he's very close to his grandparents, as seeing their message made him realise how much he'd missed them. Looks like he can't make up his mind. Lewis is clearly unconvinced by Australia, and Rachel wanted everyone to be sure before deciding to emigrate. So, how's she going to vote now?
We're 90%, I know it'll clash.
She loves the houses, but the reality is that the Keens couldn't afford the kind of home she'd like in the area she wants to live.
How much is the land inventory?
600,000.
Just for a plot of land.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bit expensive for us, Mindara, isn't it?
But she's also had to come to terms with the emotions stirred up by having to choose between a new life in Australia and leaving her teenage daughter Roxy in the UK.
I think my mum's finding it harder to leave me than I am.
I've got Roxy to leave behind, so that's going to be quite a big thing for me. That's what I'm going to miss most.
And without Lewis's backing, is Australia right for all of them?
Australia!
Reservations aside, it's Australia for the Keane family.
It seems like an easy choice. Stay in the UK or move somewhere with fantastic weather, better homes and plenty of jobs. But as our family's week has shown, leaving your friends and family on the other side of the world is one of the hardest decisions you'll ever make.
I'm half and half, and I don't know what I'm going to do at the moment.
He'll be fine in Australia, because I think Australia's got a lot to offer for him.
I'm still going to see him. I'm not going nowhere. We're only 11,000 miles away, so ain't that far away, is it, really, at the end of the day?
No worries, back here in the UK with Homes Under the Hammer next. And later tonight, Jimmy helps Alex to achieve his potential as the comedy continues in After You've Gone on BBC One at 8:30.